Thursday night in Raleigh, North Carolina, the Devils and Carolina Hurricanes opened up their seasons. And these two teams met in the first round of the playoffs last year. Carolina won 4-1, and the Devils have struggled in Raleigh against Carolina over the last several years. But this a new season. However, Chico Resch, early on, Carolina really forced the issue, and the Devils were back on their heels.
Yeah, this game was dripping with anticipation, excitement for Devils fans. We thought, okay, they're going to come out hard. But it was Carolina, which they do all the time. That's their MO. That's what they are as a team. They come out hard, and they did again on Thursday night.
And one of their big stars, Sebastian Aho, tried to get them on the board, but Jacob Markstrom said no. Devils can't make a change, but Carolina can, and they do. Here's Nikolai Ehlers, centers a drive by Aho, and a save made by Markstrom, and the Devils clear. So Jacob Markstrom, despite taking the loss, as it turns out, he was very strong on Thursday for the Devils.
Especially in the first period, Matty. Devils had one scoring chance. The Hurricanes probably 5, and he was up to the task.
Taylor Hall, the former Devil, opened the scoring at 4:06. Carolina had a 1-0 lead after 1. But as we go into the second period, it was a former Carolina Hurricane who tied it up. So now it's Brad across the line. Gets it to Hamilton, settles, backhand, scores! Woo! Dougie Hamilton settles the puck and backhands past Freddie Anderson. And after an anxious penalty kill, the Devils are able to tie it at 1. Yeah, Carolina was able to move the puck around and yet not able to score. And so Hamilton ties it up at 1, and Dougie had to feel awfully good about that.
Well, he felt awfully good all day today. I watched him in practice. He was kibitzing with some of the players and people that he knew. And the other thing was, you mentioned it, Matty, in the first period he threw some big checks. Then he scores a goal. And I was thinking, this could be Dougie Hamilton's night.
Keandre Miller had a night. He scored his first goal as a Hurricane at 9:23. And it was an odd one to say the least. An errant pass by William Carrier was floating toward the blue line. Miller stretched to keep it alive, but wasn't in good position. He said, let's just get this off my stick and toward the front of the net. Who knows what might happen? Well, what happened is it bounced and it went past Jacob Markstrom.
I guarantee you he didn't see it go in the net. And that happens sometimes. But he was more concerned about getting beat, so he just threw it at the net, and there was a screen in front. Bounce like a rubber ball over the leg of Markstrom into the cage.
But as time went on in the second period, it was Cody Glass who came up with the equalizer. Now Luke Hughes up the center of the ice. Cody Glass, 2-on-1, across with a shot, scores! A ripper by Cody Glass, and he beats Freddie Anderson glove side to tie it at 2. And what did he do there?
Well, it was a 2-on-1, and he told us in the interview he wanted to pass it, but he saw that the guy he wanted to pass it to, it was being taken away by Jacob Slavin going down. So then he looked, which froze the goalie. Then he rips it, he said, up and over the glove of Anderson, and it was a brilliant shot. Brilliant play all the way around.
Sebastian Aho ripped one off the post. That was shorthanded on the same penalty kill. Jacob Markstrom will call this the play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. Here's a chance again, shorthanded. They moving glove. Save made on Martinook. And that is the play of the game presented by Prudential. Markstrom will take the loss. He'll be disappointed because of a goal that we'll talk about in just a moment. And here, being played back, one of the highlights of the game. But he was pretty good tonight.
Yeah, he was good. But there was, I would say, 2 goals that he just wishes he could have done something a little different. And he's a very conscientious goalie, Matty. He won't like this loss, and he will take probably some of it onto himself. It
was 2-2 going into the third. And Keandre Miller, have yourself a debut. You've got to be a little nervous. 8 years, $60 million. You want to show well in front of your new fans and for your new teammates. In fact, the first game he has played did not play at all in the preseason. Pretty good debut. And at 10:21, as we thought maybe this game would head to the final stages tied. Maybe it would be a Devils night. It was Keandre Miller on the power play, making it 3-2. So the power play rolls on, 49 to go in the Devils' penalty kill. Keandre Miller slap shot off the glove of Markstrom and in. power play goal, the second of the game for Keandre Miller, and Carolina leads 3-2. It came with Luke Hughes off for a slash, and again, he might say, oh, I was always intending to shoot, but he was looking for different options till he ran out of options, Chico.
That's right, and here's what was fun for him. First game, after he scored, they were cheering like crazy. But he took his hands, and he's not a cocky guy, but he's going up with his hands like, come on, I like this, let's hear some more. And as it turned out, Maddie, he was the star of the game.
As Carolina took a 3-2 lead, but credit to the Devils, they really wouldn't fade in this game until the very end of it. Jesper Bratt with Brett Pesce, former Carolina Hurricane, taking play across the line. Jesper Bratt, the beneficiary, in a tied game. Pesce across the line, stutter step move, or swing in front. It comes now to Bratt, and he scores! Jesper Bratt ties it at 3. His first goal of the season. Pesce with the primary, Luke Hughes with the secondary. Luke had 2 assists on the season opener. The goal came at 11:38, and yeah, it was a bit of a broken play, but Pesce put the puck toward the front of the net. Good things could happen.
And you always had the feeling that the Devils might find a way to win this. And listen, bouncing back in a hockey game, coming back is good, Matty. But you know what's even better? Getting the lead. And unfortunately tonight, the Devils weren't able to do that.
No, they were pushing and pushing, but they had to withstand Carolina's attack. And it took a while before a guy who scored 32 goals last year scored his first of the season, and that was one Seth Jarvis. Devils need a goal to tie. Here's Bratt, drops it back to Jack, through the center circle, looks for Bratt, his pass is picked off, empty net, Jarvis scores. Jarvis, who had given Carolina the 4-3 lead, scores into the empty netter, an easy goal. He'll take it. They added one more goal before the night was over, and Carolina has a 6-3 victory.
Yeah, and you know, the Devils were really excited to come in here and see if they could break that bubble and finally beat Carolina in the first game. They weren't able to do it. But now, if there was any pressure tonight, Matt, there's going to be added pressure come Saturday night in Tampa Bay. For me, that's almost a must-win for the Devils.
As they'll take on the Tampa Bay Lightning, a game that will be heard beginning with their pregame show at 6:50 right here on the Devils Hockey Network.